Hello everyone and welcome to my new video. And what is this video about? Well, I am going to start working on a track, but I'm going to impose one simple rule on myself. And that rule is that I'm only allowed to use one chord. Why am I going to do that? Well, first of all, it's quite good to sometimes impose these limitations on yourself. They can lead to unexpected territories. And also the idea of using one chord, I thought might lead to some interesting harmonic and melodic things. So sort of going outside of just doing everything in diatonics or major, minor or whatever. I'm actually just going to take one chord and move it around the song by transposing it and have everything else follow those transpositions. This is something I like to play with quite a lot when I don't really have any ideas for something. And it's also something I hear quite a lot, and sometimes in sort of cinematic music. But I am going to do it in the style of the popular music genre known as footwork, in an attempt to try and get myself more street credibility. As if I needed any of that. Anyway, I'm going to do it in a couple of ways. The first way, I'm going to do it just using MIDI effects and largely very, very little MIDI notes in the clips. And then later on, I'm going to move on to trying to do it using some of the MIDI generators and transformers that come in live via this stuff here. So let's get started. I've got drift here, which if I turn on the little speaker, I can listen to that here. So I'm going to draw in one note like that. All right. Okay. Let's have a look at that note. And then I'm going to go and I'm going to get the chord device, which is here. And I'm going to put that before drift. And I'm going to dial in a chord of a major third, 3 semitones, a perfect fifth or 7 semitones, and not 11. I want that to be 10. So now what we get is that. So I'm only playing one MIDI note, but we get a chord, which is very, very good. And then what I'm going to do is program in. Let's actually just do this right now. Let's make this 4 bars long. And let's set the grid to 1 bar. And I'm going to draw in one note there, one note there. What's the next one? A. Yeah, and then this one. Yeah, that's good. So they are kind of all a minor third apart. So this is actually kind of transposing around the sort of diminished scale, I suppose. These, if you go diminished scale, you get this. Oh, no, that's wrong. Sorry. Well, it's not really the diminished scale. It's just all in thirds, minor thirds apart from each other. So that is kind of fun. Take a chord and then move it somewhere else in a very just odd way. And this is what we're going to get. That sounds rave as fuck to me. And the reason why that is because I think in the early days of rave sampling, they would just sample chords. And as they would sort of play them up and down the keyboard, that would be effectively transposing the chord. And I think that's incredibly evocative of that stuff. There we go. Let's bring in the high pass. I love this high pass thing on drift. You can high pass the low pass filter. Okay, but let's make this a bit footworky. Let's go back to 16th notes and let's maybe chop these up into bits. So let's maybe do something like, let's get rid of that. Let's do something like that. Yeah. Let's get rid of that. Let's take a copy of that. Let's move that there, and then that there, and there. Yeah, and then we get something like this. Yeah. But let's make it more choppy. No release, no decay, just sustain. Very good. Yeah, I'm having a nice time already. Okay, let's go and get a drum rack. Let's go and get the Core 808 and we'll just sort of do something fairly rudimentary. We'll just sort of mirror that with something like some kicks there, snare, and then something like that. Can't really hear it, so loud. That drift is so loud. Maybe come down a little bit. Let's come down to -12 on drift. Okay, let's put some hats in here. Let's do like a couple of closed hats here. And then maybe on this one, we'll like roll this one. We'll do Command E and press up, split it in two. There we go. start as well. Command E, press up, split it in half. That's it, good. Maybe a little bit more drive on that 808 kick. Oh my goodness me, less decay. A little bit more drive. Oh, there's no drive on. Oh, there's drive here. That snare is not really. Have I got the right? Let's put it on the clap as well. And then let's maybe have a couple of. Let's put some cowbells in on the gaps. See what this is like, and maybe the claves too. No, I don't want that one there. Do I want? I'll take that one out. Yeah, but the decay on that cowbell is too much, so we're going to have to go into the cowbell, extend that out, go all the way down here, and pull that release down, that decay up a little bit. Yeah, beautiful. Okay, I'm already getting bored of that chord progression, so let's move on to the bass line. So for the bass line, we'll just basically do the same thing. I'll get drift in again. I'm going to use drift. I want to get better at understanding drift. I'm growing to like it very much. So what I'll do is actually just copy the same pattern here. Let's do, what did I do there? Let's set this to 4 bars. And set this to 1 bar. The grid here, draw in the same... what was it? A, and then F sharp. And I'm going to take a copy of that chord and move that over to this bass. Well, this is going to be one bass line, and then I'm going to use that to drive an arpeggiator. Let's have a look and see what we've got here. Let's just listen to this by itself. All right. Let's change it to mono. Oh, sorry, I just breathed. Breathed very heavily on the mic. I'm using a different mic these days and it needs a pop shield, but I kind of quite keep forgetting that you can still breathe on it. I've just got to stop breathing so heavily on my videos. Like a pervert. Okay, let's go to 16th note. Let's play with the filter a little bit. I don't think I want that sine wave in there. Let's maybe have 2 square waves. Yeah, that's good. Sorry, 2 saw waves, yeah. Okay, so now what I want to do is I'm going to like automate the arpeggiator behavior in the clip. So I'm going to ping open the clip, have it all in one window like this. Very good. And maybe start by just changing the arpeggiator rate maybe. So let's click on that and go show automation. Good, there it is. And then let's just see if we could do something with this. Let's put the grid down a little bit to maybe 1/8. No, that's too much. Let's say 1/2. Okay, and then I'm just going to maybe sort of just try something like, I don't know, something like this. See what this is like. No. No, I don't really like that at all. Let's maybe put the grid up a little bit more. That was kind of... Okay, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to unlink this so that I can have that pattern be separate from the rest of the clip. Let's try going into 16th notes and see if we can sort of do something. That might complement the drums a little bit. Overdrive this a little bit later. Okay, that's fine. Okay, and what I'm also going to do is try and automate the arpeggiator style as well for a laugh. So we can click on that, and once we're in this page here, you can sort of just click on anything and it appears in the window above. This actually has changed my view of automating things in Ableton. I used to not be a fan of it until they allowed you to put the clip editor in the same view as your devices. I like that very much. So I'm just going to automate different arpeggiator styles. So I'll just start with something like this. Actually, I've changed my mind about the rate. Let's have it. I'm not thinking about this. I'm being too slapdash. I need to think. Come on, let's think about this. Okay, right, let's just sort of mirror the pattern. That's all right. Let's maybe add one step so it goes up a 12 semi. Yeah, that's very good. Yeah. Definitely automate your arpeggiators, people. It takes you out of that sort of and gets you into. Okay, I'm going to maybe take a copy of that drift and do like a more of a growly bass that's not going to have any MIDI effects on it. It's just going to basically copy that. Let's make that the same color. Yeah. So let's listen to this one. Let's listen to this one, shall we? Yeah. That's poly. We don't want that. We want them to be mono. And I'm going to maybe do like a sort of saw. Let's come down. I don't know how footworky that is. I don't actually really listen to that much footwork, actually. I'm sorry. Not that I don't like it. I think it's really good, but I'm in no way an expert. I just sort of heard it once. I was like, oh, I get that. Yeah, I really get that. I don't know if they do respaces in that stuff. Let's get rid of that envelope. Yeah, that's fun. Okay, let's hit that with everything. Okay, I'm going to take a copy of all of these clips. And I'm just going to change these ones, add a little bit of variation. So I think maybe what I'll do for these ones is I'll just sort of take out the first. I'll leave the first ones in, and then for this, am I on the right scene? On the right scene, yeah. And then for this one, I'll maybe go to notes and just make these all a little shorter, something like this, something like that, and then we get just a little bit of variation, maybe a bit longer. Okay, now let's do like some sort of lead. I'm going to do the same sort of thing. I'm going to take the, I'll take the bass line here, move that there. Make that the same color. Let's shift this all up. Yeah. And then I'll get that chord device here. So they're all just doing the same chord. We're just shift. What's going on? What the fuck just happened? What just happened? Did I do that? No. Okay. Let's get that, put that there, and then get an arpeggiator and do the same sort of thing that we did for that bass, but with this lead line. Now I want this to be sort of squeaky, kind of wibbly wobbly, sort of SH101 style type thing. So we're going to put legato on. We're going to set this to mono, and I'm going to automate some note length. Yeah, okay, let's just start with that. Let's get the clip up. Let's go to gate. Let's go to envelopes, go to gate. And so let's set this. At what point does it start to tie? Get some of that release down. Yeah, again, let's unlink this and just do this in 3. Let's just see what this sounds like. Let's just do something like this. No, that's too long. Let's go into 16th notes and do 3 16th notes. Something like this. Yeah, that's good, yeah. Unlinked automation. It's brilliant. Right, okay, now let's do the same thing with the arpeggiator. Let's change the arpeggiator style here. Let's just start by just drawing in some random stuff. Yeah, brilliant. That's just all I want. I can preempt it getting boring very quickly, so we're going to have to sort of think about how we can... Okay, that's fun. Let's hear it with everything else. Very much. It's kind of jazzy, but it's not too jazzy. It sort of just has this. The word for me is fruity. It's sort of just got like this kind of uncertain kind of yeah, like it's a little bit jazzy. It's not too jazzy. It's a tiny bit rave. It's kind of like where jazz. I'm talking utter shit. Don't listen to anything I'm saying. Okay, so let's just have some different scenes maybe. Or maybe we could do some more follow actions on the clips. I kind of quite like to do that. Maybe I'll, yeah, let's sort of just do some variations on the clips that we have. Let's take this one down here and listen to this one. Let's go back to notes. Let's just maybe get everything and turn the chants down on all of them. And let's do the same for this one. This is going to be slightly weird, but I don't know. Let's experiment. Let's bang everything down to sort of 50% chance 40% chance. Let's do the same for the drums as well. Get them to sort of 40% chance. And then for this one, this is going to probably work quite well. Oh my. Let's see what this sounds like. It's all... I like it on the chords, but on everything else, it sucks. Probably because these are kind of quite long notes. So maybe we could do something like, let's get all the notes on this bass, select all, Command E. Let's see if this works. Command E. Yeah. Let's do that for all of those as well. Command E, split. Oh, hang on. Split again. Let's do the same for these ones. Command A, Command E. Now that's done that into 16ths. Sort of sounds a bit stupid. Okay, that's fine. Let's take another copy of that scene there, and then maybe for this one, I'll just delete the stuff in the lead, but leave the clip there. So, okay, that's fine. We've got sort of like 4 scenes. Okay, that's good. Let's move these up here, and then let's go and select all of them, go into the follow actions, turn the follow actions on, and then let's say play another after 4 runs. Well, they're all sort of the same length, aren't they? So let's leave linked on, and let's say after 4 times, play another clip. Drum bus that 808. Let's drum bus it. Come on, it's Wednesday. Oh, that is hot. Hot stuff. Oh my. It's getting hot in here. A little too hot. Let's come down maybe 3 dB. Let's put that back to 0. Oh, still a little hot. Let's try -6. -6 on the drum. Starting to get on my nerves. Let's name these tracks. Let's just take a little break here. Let's call these chords 808, bass 1, bass 2, and lead. I'm starting to find that lead a little irritating. I don't really know how to address that right now. Maybe I can just tolerate it and grow to like it like a difficult child. just going to stick a limiter on the master because I'm sure someone in the comments is going to go, bro, you're in the red, bro, you're so unbro, bro, you got bro, you got bro, the bro. Don't forget to bro the bro. Hey, I'm going to make an LFO plugin and call it Bro LFO. Speaking of LFOs, bro, I'm going to put a Bro LFO on the on that filter. Now, because we're bouncing between lots of clips, I can't really automate that. So I'll just have the LFO do it for me very slowly. Let's maybe say something like 4 bars. Yeah, very so let's say 8 bars, very slowly. And I'll keep it on mod for now. I'll just map that. So yeah, let's see how long that takes. That's going down to about, that's a little too low. Let's bring the depth down. Actually, I'll just speed it up a little bit so I can see better what it's doing. Let's offset it so it only goes in the positive range there. So it's going above where I want it to go. Yeah, that's very good. Yeah, a little bit too far. I went a bit too far with the offset. Excuse me. Okay, right, that's good. Yep, all right, let's bring that up. Oh, now it's too big. Let's offset it a little bit more. It's probably going to clip. Okay, this is good stuff right now. So we're now only going in the positive range fully. Let's put that back down to 8. And then it's just going to add a little bit of variation. Play something, damn it. I need a crash. I'm going to go to my samples, go to my cymbals. Sure, I've got a crash in here somewhere. Quite like that one, actually. Okay, so let's use the follow action for this. Let's say play again every 8, let's say 8 bars. What did I say the follow actions were for this? Times 4. Oh, whatever. Oh, it's loud. Okay. Very good. I'm just going to save that quickly. Okay, good. That's all saved. Why was my quantize on half a bar? Goodness me. Must have hit a keyboard thing by mistake. Right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the whole song again, but rather than use MIDI effects, I'm just going to try and use the generators. And because I want to transpose one chord or kind of one scale around, I'm going to have to do it like slightly differently. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a new MIDI track and I'm going to get the drift from the first track, chords, put that on there, and I'm going to rename that chords 2. And we're going to move to a completely new collection of scenes. So let's get rid of all this. I kind of don't need my IO. Thank you. I don't really need my sends either. No reverb in footwork, I don't think. Okay, so let's go to scene 8. So I'm going to go in here. I'm going to go to this clip and I'm going to turn on the scale here and I'm going to set this to C Dorian. Now what I'm going to do, excuse me. Oh my goodness me. What I'm going to do is use follow actions to transpose the scale. From what I understand, you can't do that in a clip. You can only you can't automate this stuff, but you can generate. You can have a new clip with a different scale, and thus move to the new clip, and everything will follow. So this is not global. This is per clip. So if I take the same approach for all the clips and have the follow actions follow the same pattern, then I can do the transposition that way. Why am I doing that? Well, one, because I want to generate the MIDI, and I might also want to add some MIDI effects in later and use the scale awareness so that if it goes from C Dorian to D sharp Dorian, is that right? C. Oh my goodness me! I've just got these new open back headphones, and if I put them next to the mic, they feed back a little bit. I'm gonna have to be careful about where I position my head. So what did I say? D sharp. Yeah, so now that is when a new clip changes the scale, then all the scale aware MIDI effects will follow. Anyway, let's worry about that later. Let's just start with this. So let's go to this clip here. Let's turn on scale. So now we're in C Dorian. Let's go to generate stacks and let's just generate one chord and try a different invert. Right, there we go. So that is a different shape. No idea what these icons mean. They look nice, but that is a C minor 7. Now I want to keep that. So I'm going to go to transform. I'm going to go to chop. This is kind of fun. You can kind of break this chord up into bits. So let's put this into 16th notes. Something like this. And then I can take all of these out like this. Now you have to click one at a time. It's not click and drag, but that's okay. Let's just do that because this is kind of fun. I didn't know how long this has been in here, but it's pretty good fun. So we can just sort of draw in where we want them to go like that. No, that's wrong. That one, that one, that one. Yeah. So now we've kind of got the same pattern again. Yeah. So now this is when things get a little bit interesting. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to duplicate that clip, go into this clip and change this to D sharp. Now we're out of the scale now. These are still going to be in C Dorian. But what I can do is I can go to this tab and go fit to scale and they'll move to the new scale. Now it sounds a little bit different, right, than the other one. That's because the other one was probably doing something like this. But I actually kind of quite liked it where it was. I'm just going to let there we go. I'm just going to let this do what it wants. So you can hear when I change the clip, C Dorian, D sharp Dorian. See it changing down there. It's quite fun. Okay, let's duplicate this one again. And we'll put this one to, what was the other? It was A. So again, we've gone out of the scale, but that's okay. We can go fit to scale, and now they're going to move to the new scale. Let's do that again. And for this final one, we'll set this to F sharp and click fit to scale. So now what we've got is this. This sounds very weird, but I'm going to go with it. They're a little low. No, we'll stay with that. Okay, now let's do the same thing with the, well, actually, let's just get the 808. Let's get the same. We could just take a copy of this. Let's just take a copy of this, put that there, and move all of those clips down. Actually, I just want the first clip. I'm just going to take the first clip, and I'm going to turn the follow action off. So let's get these 4 clips, turn the follow action on, and then say go. Next, this is very easy. They're all 1 bar each. So when it goes after, when it finishes its bar, it's going to play the next clip. We're going to get something like this. Let's play these 2 together. Now, this might seem a little strange, but you know, it might be, well, I don't wish to insult anyone's intelligence, but if you're sort of struggling to sort of hear the harmonic interest here, I understand, because I'm deliberately going a little bit strange. But if I get the random device, right, okay, and put that on the track with the chords, and then enable the scale awareness, every time that a new clip plays which has a new scale, this device is going to snap to that. That is so exciting to me. I only just worked that out recently. So we can kind of do all of these strange key changes, all these modulations, transpositions and stuff. And if we want to kind of embellish them with some random events, the scale aware MIDI effects will follow. So if I put this to maybe something like 7 choices and maybe it's something like 25%, you'll hear how it's adding. That sounds fucking shit. This is the worst example of what I thought was a really good idea. Oh, might be better with the bass line or the lead. Let's leave the chords as they are. Oh, I've just realised that I had the sine wave on the other one. Let's go back here. Let's turn that sine wave off. We don't want that. We just want sawtooth. The sawtooth is my favorite oscillator wave shape. I've made up my mind. Okay, so let's try the same sort of thing with the bass now. Let's make a new MIDI track here. And let's take a copy of this first bass drift. Option, drag, put that in there. And I'll disable those clips for now. So let's go in here and we're going to repeat the process, but just take a slightly different approach. So we'll say C Dorian here. And what shall I do here? Let's maybe try the stacks again. Let's try the stacks again. Let's go to generate stacks. Yeah, so we've still got that shape. Okay, so it's made this. Okay, let's go down an octave. And then let's go to the transformers and try arpeggiate. And let's turn auto off. Let's set the rate to 1/16. The distance, maybe let's say no distance. And let's just try random and then hit transform. Okay, if there's some we don't like, we can just move some around. Okay, that's kind of fun. Okay, so I'm going to take the same approach again. I'm going to duplicate that clip. And then on this clip, I'm going to change that to the next key, which is going to be D sharp. And then I'm going to go fit to scale. Did that do that? I can't possibly tell. Let's undo that. Oh, it only did it on that last one. Okay, deselect all the clips. Now do fit to scale. So what do we have now? Quite hard to tell because it's bass. Let's just keep going. So this one, we'll do A Dorian, fit to scale. They are moving. They are moving. Let's do the same thing for this one. This one is F sharp. Fit to scale. Select all the clips. Go to follow actions. All we need to do is just turn follow action on and then go next. Okay, let's hear that with the chords. maybe go up an octave. Can't really hear it. To tell, like when I was practicing this, it sounded a lot better. This is what my life is like. I prat around and I find these really interesting things, and I think this will make a really good video. And then when I do the video, it's never quite as good. We're definitely in. Where are we here? I don't even really know what D sharp Dorian would be. Oh my god, I'm doing that thing again. D sharp Dorian would be. Hang on, I need to move some crap out of the way. Put that down there. D sharp Dorian would be here, 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 here. Now let me look at the keyboard on the screen. I think it's fine. Yeah, I think it sounds cool. Yeah. Now for the bass 2, we can actually just take a copy of this. We can just take a copy of all this stuff. Let's delete these. And then this one, let's have a look at that. Yeah, that one, we can just turn the follow action off. That can just play by itself. I'd maybe like to make that a little more aggressive. Let's get the saturator in. Soft clip. A little bit more attack, I think, on the... Yeah, that sounds good, yeah. Okay, take a copy of this 808 clip, and then on this I'm just going to mute all of that stuff. I'm just going to put it to 0. And then for these two, let's do something. Let's do a follow action here. Let's say this first one plays for 8 times, the second one plays for 2 times. And we won't say other, we'll say next. Next. And then we'll get a little bit of variation on the drums. Okay, that's sounding pretty good so far. Let's bring in another lead. Now I've given everything. I'm not going to name bass 2, bass 2-2. Yeah, I am. Bass 2-2. What happened to bass? Oh, that's... Let's name this bass 1-2. So we've got bass 1-2 and bass 2-2. Now let's get rid of these lead things. We don't need this anymore. We don't need that. We don't need that. We don't need that note length. And let's get rid of that. Let's just get rid of everything. And let's try and do something. Let's do the same thing again with a lead. Let's go for C Dorian on this first clip. And let's see. We've got seed, haven't we? Seed. This is interesting. So let's turn auto off and look at some of these options. Let's say we want some notes to be 16th notes, some to be 8th notes. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. Voices, 1. Density, let's hit auto. Okay, what's that giving us? Barely nothing. Okay, let's solo that. Let's listen to this. Okay, that's pretty good, yeah. Let's duplicate that clip. go to this one, change this to, no, change the root note to D sharp, and then go fit to scale. Yeah. I think I could possibly revisit this idea with a slightly different concept. I'm really feeling the potential here. Let's change this to A, and then go fit to scale. And then one final time, this one will change to F sharp, and then go fit to scale. Select them all, go to follow action. Yeah, that's fine. Now let's listen to that with our lead line. Maybe necessarily the best idea generated on that lead 2. Let's call that lead 2. Lead 2. But it's okay. We can just kind of just add more bits in. So let's maybe just draw in some other. It doesn't matter because they're all the scale. It's all just going to be in the scale. I feel like something bad's happened. Let's play from it. I think I maybe didn't curate that random generation enough as I could have done, but oh well. It's quite difficult to think about these things when you're trying to shoot a YouTube video in one take. I think the idea's there though, isn't it? Quite fun with a little bit of attack on the chords. Okay, I think I'm done. So there you go. That was how you can kind of, I need a stretch. Oh, there you go, my open back headphone. Oh my. This is going to open a new era in my content of like, oh, that guy, he's got these open back headphones and they're always like, and he keeps moving his head around. Maybe I should go back to the old ones or buy a new pair of closed backs as well. I was using DT770 Pros for about 17 years, basically every single YouTube video and every single album between 2009 and 2026, I used on this one pair of Beyerdynamic DT770 Pros, which I've now decided need to go in the bin. And I thought, oh, I'll try open back. I've now learnt my lesson that actually they're not really very good for broadcasting, but I understand that they're going to be very good for mixing. We'll find out. So I might have to buy a pair of closed backs for when I do YouTube videos. Anyway, what the fuck? I mean, you don't care about that. That is how you can use MIDI effects, generators, and transformers in order to generate some interesting music by simply taking one chord and transposing it around your song. Give it a try. I'm going to revisit this idea with a different style of music, maybe something a little bit more cinematic, because I can see this kind of introducing some interesting ways. As you sort of move keys around, you kind of find these interesting joins, but then these also very disparate gaps. And I find all that stuff really interesting. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. I'm going to go and put this on my Patreon now, where if you'd like to support this channel, you can do so there, where you'll be able to get access to this live set, plus many, many more sets going back almost 10 years and all done with Beyerdynamic DT770 Pros. Okay, thanks for watching. Hope you had a nice time. See you again soon. Bye.